How's it going, everybody? My name is Evan Inada. I am the Charcuterie Director for Columbus Craft Meats, going on 19 years now with the company. So today we're really going to talk about where we all began on Columbus Craft Meats as a brand. For us, our original owners, Mr. Domenici and Mr. Parducci, started our company in 1917 in North Beach, Little Italy. They found that the climate was very similar to the climate in Italy, so that they could just open up the windows in the morning time and let all the fog creep in and acclimate our curing rooms to the temperature needed to just dry age salami traditional Italian way. Our original owner, Mr. Domenici, was a traveling Norcini back in Italy, so he would go from town to town all over Italy, learning all the different nuances and different recipes that made each region special. So when he started our portfolio in North Beach, he started off with these recipes that I'm gonna talk about on our map of Italy that you see right here. So these recipes you see kind of really started our portfolio, what everything that we do in our full line of salami, charcuterie, as well as snacking items in the salami side of things. We're always going to start off with the best raw materials. That's what makes us really special and separates us from, I think, the rest of the competition. But for us, it's also key that the recipes really come through in the history of where we came from. So starting off here, Genoa salami. This is our mildest salami of the bunch. We're really kind of showcasing the artisan craft of dry aging salami more than anything else with this Genoa salami. Lowest spice count of all the salami. So we're really gonna focus in on the sweetness of the pork with a little bit of hint of garlic at the end more than anything else in this salami. And this is why it's the fan favorite for pretty much anywhere across the country. Next, we're gonna go into the Parma region of Italy. And when you think of Parma, people automatically think of prosciutto di Parma. That's really that showcased item, pure center cut of leg meat, being made into a beautiful salumi item. For us, we're using the hand-trimmed pork shoulder and taking a Parma recipe for Falino. Falino was known as the king of salami in Italy. We're using natural culari casings for this salami to dry age it, and the natural casings are actually imparting flavor into the meat itself to really give it that rustic flavor, to build our portfolio around that real rustic Italian flair of Falino right here in this slice. Now you'll get to the cacciatore salami. Traditionally, cacciatore, hunter's salami. So it was kind of the first grab-and-go salami ever made. Hunters would take this on their journeys as they would go hunting and just kind of cut it down as they go throughout the day as their protein-packed snack. For us, this is our little San Francisco cousin in the salami secchi. We like doing this by cutting it down bias cut. We're using the natural casings on this one as well, and the fiore stays on the outside, so it protects it from the kind of outside air as well as it just continues to dry and age as the casings stay on it. We're gonna just get a knife and cut it kind of down at a little bit of a bias cut to get the slices that you have here. It's perfect bias cut, great to have like a little piece of brie, a little fig jam to go for a perfect charcuterie bite just right there. But secchi salami, that's kind of that San Francisco cousin of the cacciatore style of grab-and-go salami here. As we go to the southern region of Italy, you're going to be focused around more of the heat, the tomato-based like pasta, the spicier kind of fare. That's because the Spanish introduced the Italians in the southern region to the peppers and the tomatoes back in the day. So when you look at the Calabrian recipes that we're using in calabrese and hot soppressata, there is that nice focus and celebration of peppers in each one of the slices there. So starting off with the calabrese, celebration of peppers, we're using bell peppers, Utica peppers, and chili peppers to make this salami really not too spicy, but really just a celebration of that pepper flavor to go perfectly with a nice grazing board or really anything out there. Hot soppressata is probably one of my favorite items to eat. Hot soppressata has that chili de arbos. It gives it that beautiful dark crimson red color, as well as that slow resonating heat. If you go anywhere in California for the pizzerias too, it's a Cool Kids pepperoni nowadays too. So hot soppressata, one of the more popular salami you'll see on our portfolio nowadays. Soppressata itself is probably the most popular of our salami you really see in almost every charcuterie post on Instagram. When you're looking at really the portfolio of what builds the soppressata salami, you're taking a mix of complexity of red pepper and sweet fennel to balance out all those beautiful flavors, as well as using the European choppa fat in this salami to make it a little butterier in flavor and taste. And then you're going to finish off with the finocchione. This is our largest diameter of all of our salami. So wild fennel flavor really comes through in every single slice. That fennel is just dry aged into the salami for over 90 days. So really, when you're talking about a good Tuscan salami, it has to have fennel in it, because really the fennel fields is really what gave it that strength of the salami, and it gave it that fennel in the portfolio of really building that rustic flavor into every slice of finocchione. Now, what makes Columbus, I think, the most special when it comes to salami in our industry is three main things. One is the raw materials. So when you're starting off the salami, before you stuff the meat into the casings, we got to choose the leanest cuts of pork that we're using here. So we're taking hand trimmed pork shoulder, hold it up to the light when you look at a salami, and you can see that clean, clear definition of hand trimmed pork to lean back fat in every single slice. A lot of other competitors will take whatever cuts of meat that they could get, grind and emulsify that sinew and cartilage up. And when you finish their salami, you get a lot of pieces of sinew still remaining. So when you're chewing and eating and enjoying the salami, it gets stuck in your teeth, or you almost get a bone spur when you're chewing it. That will ruin the whole experience. For us, the raw materials is all where it starts. So hand trimmed pork shoulder, dry age all the way through, gives it that beautiful flavor. Whereas if you grind and all the sinew and cartilage up and then you speed treat it or speed rush the process, that sinew turns acidic and it gives you almost a sore throat when you eat too much of a lower end salami. For us, that smooth flavor comes through in every single slice. One of the other big reasons for that is the back fat that we're using. We're actually getting lean back, hard back fat, which is extremely important, because when you make your salami with back fat, you can see the fat for one, and when you eat the salami, you get a clean mouthful every single time. When you use a belly-based fat in your salami, you see that white buildup form on the outside of the salami. As you take it apart, it kind of sticks together. That's that lard-based belly fat kind of sticking to every single slice. When you're eating those salami, you get a stickiness on the roof of your mouth after eating 4 or 5 slices. Where for us, clean, clear mouthfeel every single time because of the raw materials that we start off with. The next part, take a good whiff of that fermentation, that dry aged goodness. Every single one of our salami, we take that raw materials, chop it up in our choppers, and then we stuff it into these natural or collagen casings with some red wine, some garlic, some starter culture, some salt, pepper, a little bit of nitrates. That's about it when it comes to the salami that we're making here. For us, dry aging it all the way through is so important. The time that you're taking, as well as the spices and the proprietary different ingredients that we're using to really make these products special. We talked about the chili d'arbo or the fennel seed that we're using in the finocchione. For us, dry aging it with the right spices is so important to the stubbornness that we have in perfecting this salami in every single slice that we make. And then the time that we take. So dry aging it so when you press into a salami with your fingers, it's still a salami afterwards. That's because it's dry aged all the way through. We're not speed treating it or rushing it with a higher heat. When you do that, you have a higher acidity. It's softer, you have a pink salami, and when you chew it, it just grinds up in your mouth in seconds. For us, dry aging it, you have that give in the salami. You have that beautiful crimson red color. And when you pop it into your mouth and you begin chewing the salami, you're continually chewing it as the umami builds and the flavor builds in each one of the slices. And you're able to grab a piece of cheese, an olive, a cracker, and build these beautiful layers of flavor on every single bite. That's why it's so important to choose the right salami when you're choosing your charcuterie board and your shopping list, because the salami is the flavor bridge that brings everything else on the charcuterie board together. And without that dry aged goodness and having that texture, that experience kind of goes away just in a second. So 3 big things: the raw materials, the proprietary spices, and that time and passion that we put into every single slice makes Columbus Craft Meats really what it is today and going on in the future.